everybody. Welcome back to the Royal Read. I am so glad you decided to stop by and see what I'm reading on. But before we get started, you already know I ask you to do it every time. Yeah, go right down here in your settings, look around, find that subscribe button. Yeah, there it is. Go ahead on and subscribe. And while you're in there, hit your notification bell too so you know when I upload or when I just want to pop in, and give me a thumbs up to fight my nemesis, the beast, that algorithm. Whew, it drags me, y'all. It drags me. It does. And right about here, that's our join button. That's for channel memberships. And if you choose to become a channel member and a part of the reading club, you will be supporting my channel to grow, to improve, and to continue. And I will be so thrilled, so happy, so over the moon to have your support. Also, if you want to do a one-time donation, our super thanks button is right over there, and all donations to the channel will always be greatly appreciated. Also, I have a shout out and I have an announcement. Our shout outs go to Annette Sweat. Annette, thank you for the super thanks. And just thank you for being such a great supporter of this channel and such a big part of this community. So thank you. And also, I want to give a shout out to Angel Earth 1977. Angel Earth rejoined our reading club. She did. She was gone for a little while and now she's back. And I am thrilled over the moon to have her back. Oh, Angel Earth, thank you. Thank you for coming back. And also, our announcement, we have a new channel member. We do. Her name is Adeline Xavier. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Forgive me, Adeline, if I'm not pronouncing it right, but I am trying. It's Adeline Xavier. And Adeline, thank you for seeing something in my channel and deciding that you want to support it. It means everything to me. It means everything to me that you choose to support this channel. It is so many channels here on this app, and you choose to support mine. That means everything. And because now you are a channel member, you can go over to the community page and your official welcome will be over there posted. And everybody, when you get the opportunity, go over to the community page and welcome Adeline to the reading club because we are so thrilled, so over the moon to have her. All right, y'all, with all that said, let's get to the read. And because y'all know every time I'm putting the read together, y'all know what I do. I jump in these internet streets, and that's exactly where I was. I was up, down, and all around these internet streets. I was over to Blue Sky, and it is coming along like gangbusters over there. I'm telling you, more and more squatties are joining. It just don't have my favorite feature yet. I hope they add it really soon, and that's that bookmark because I bookmark a whole lot of stuff because I want to come back and then, see it and share it with y'all. So I hope they start the bookmark soon. But other than that, Blue Sky is really coming along, and I am thrilled with it. I stayed quite a bit. I stayed a long time over to Blue Sky today. And also, I moved over to TikTok. Not much going on over to TikTok when it comes to Harry and Meghan. They too busy boycotting Walmart over there. It's all about boycotting this one and that one. And that's what's going on with TikTok. I did see a few videos of they still talking about the Wicked Witch of the West, Camilla. They talking about Wicked Camilla. And so I saw a few videos about that. But other than that, they are talking about a lot of other stuff over there. And I went to Instagram. Instagram is all over the place. Like Instagram is always all over the place, talking about all different kinds of stuff. But a lot of it is being talked about is Richard Eden's article that he wrote, saying that Harry and Meghan would be welcome back, and we're going to discuss that a little later. I went to X, formerly known as Twitter, and that's what the squatties are also talking about. They still kind of like on Instagram, they kind of all over the place discussing different things, but they mostly are focusing on this whole thing with Richard Eden. I think it's kind of like a canary in the coal mine, just putting it out there to see what people are going to say, see what the response is, and probably just trying to get some clicks. And that is the reason why I did not give him mine, because I saw where Kaiser of Celebici had written an article about what his article was. You know how she does. She write an article about an article. And so I decided to give Celebici my clicks and not Richard Eden, and just talk about his article the way Kaiser has. Because I'm just not giving them anything. I'm offering up dust. This That's my New Year's resolution. If I can avoid giving them a click over there, I am going to avoid it. I'm gonna follow Harry and Meghan's example and serve up dust as much as I can. Have them coughing and choking on it. And because that's the only way you can really get people's attention is when you hit them in their pockets. And that's pretty much what they're talking about on TikTok, hitting certain companies in their pockets. So that's what my New Year's resolution is to try to serve up dust as much as I can and give my clicks to people who deserve it, like Celebici. So as long as Kaiser writes articles about articles, then I probably would not be going over to the Daily Mail to give them anything. I'm just saying. I'm gonna put this up, and this is what Kaiser posted to introduce the article, and it says Eden, the Sussex, would be welcome back if they gave up everything in the US. Isn't that stupid? They really, really, really think that Harry and Meghan would do that. That Harry and Meghan would give up all this freedom, all this success to go back over there so Charles and William could put their foot on their necks. I mean, it is a derangement syndrome that these people have. I just don't understand it. And I'm going to put this article up. And this article is what Kaiser wrote. The name of the article is Eden, the Sussex would be welcome back if they give up everything in the US. And this is what basically what this article is saying, that in order for Harry and Meghan to be welcomed back into the fold, they would have to give up everything. And all I can say to that is this: have they not saw Harry and Meghan's house? Do they honestly think that Harry and Meghan is going to give up their house, their life in California, and return to Frogmore Cottage and just pretend like the past 5 years never happened? They really think that. They think to be adjacent to that family and somehow equates to the life that Harry and Meghan have today. It's the most deranged thing. It's hard for me to even get my head around the fact that this kind of stupidity actually exists in the world. The kind of stupidity that this man is actually putting into an article, that this human being, well, this prince Harry, who have been caged all his life, that once the cage door was open and he was allowed to fly, and has done nothing but fly higher and higher and higher, leveling up one level after another since he left there. Well respected, have become a global advocate, not because he put that title upon himself like his brother who called himself a global statesman. And nobody was saying that except his people. But in this case, the world, the press started to call Harry a global advocate. And he has become this person, and I, like I said, admired global, all over the world, admired all over the world. So he is flying high. Did they not? Did they not see Harry surfing? I mean, it's ridiculous of these people who honestly think that this society, this monarchy, is somehow so sought after and so desired that you would give up the life that Harry and Meghan have to be a part of that. Harry and Meghan was the superstars of that family, and look, they had them living in virtual poverty. When you put what they had beside William, Edward, and what's his name, Andrew. I mean, everybody in that family was living better than Harry and Meghan, but Harry and Meghan was doing the yeoman's part of the work and was happy to do that as long as they left them alone, and they would not do that. And now that they have built this spectacular life for themselves, they want them and think that they might actually do it, give up all of that in order to go back to live in poverty and live with Harry's father and his brother's foot on their neck. They really believe that. Richard Eden, in his deranged, fevered mind, believes that Harry and Meghan would do that. And Meghan, who has been free all her life and then caged within that family, and had finally had the opportunity to get out of the cage. And while she was in the cage, she appreciated what freedom was like. You honestly think Meghan would go back to something like that? All of the treachery, backstabbing, and just the would you think that Meghan would go back to that viper's nest, that scorpion den of a family? But he who would give his right leg and both his arms to be a part of that believes that. But like I said, have they not saw Harry and Meghan's house? Have they not saw Harry and Meghan's life? Harry has done everything. Harry is surfing. Harry is enjoying his freedom. Harry has done everything except jump out of a plane. He is so happy to be away from there. And yet and still, they really think that Harry would want to come back. And while he was over there, they treated him like a dog. They actually treated their dogs better. Queen Elizabeth II, her dogs was treated better than Harry. But yet and still, somehow Harry is supposed to sacrifice this wonderful life that he's built to go back over there and save them. Because don't get it twisted. This is about saving them. They want to be saved. They are begging Harry to come back over there because guess what? Harry has won. And y'all know I have been saying this ever since Columbia. When Harry and Meghan went to Columbia and they were so successful and they had nothing to do with that rota and they got all this media and they knew right then and there that Harry and Meghan did not need them and would never need them. And that is when their hearts broke and we won. And I'll always say, if I have to pinpoint the time when Harry and Meghan broke them, it would be Columbia. It would be Columbia. But let's get into this article and see what these people, these fevered mind people, are saying. But let's see what Kaiser is saying first. She said the Duke and Duchess of Sussex have made it abundantly and repeatedly clear that they will never move back to the UK on a permanent basis. Where is the lie? Every time somebody asks Harry, Harry says no before they get the question completely out of their mouth. No, no, no. But they act like they can't hear Harry's no's. But Harry has been totally and absolutely consistent with those no's. It is ridiculous, but I think it is hope. They're hoping and they're praying and they're dreaming. That's what's happening. But Harry has said it completely, repeatedly, that he would not return as a working royal. But those people are circling the drain over there and they know it. And they know Harry is the only person that can save them because William is so short sightedly stupid that he still thinks that he is the draw, him and Kitty Cat. It's so funny to watch. I'm saying, but he consistently continues, he just continues to consistently fail. That's all he does is fail. But let's go on. It says their first offer back in 2020 was only to spend part of the year in the UK and maintain their royal patronages. That's all they offered in the beginning. They never said that they wanted to spend be full time in the UK. But this is what they want. They want Harry and Meghan back in the UK full time. And let's think back, hadn't this changed? Y'all remember when it started out, we don't want them back, we don't need them. Then it started slowly changing to we just want Harry back. And now it has gotten to a full on, we want the Sussexes back. It has changed, hasn't it? It has changed. And I love that for them. How many panels did we see about they say, well, I don't think Nikki could ever be welcome back. I don't think Nikki could ever be welcome back. And now all of a sudden they want Megan back. It's so funny to me. I'm just saying. But let's go on. It says that was rejected by Queen Elizabeth II, Charles, and William because it was rejected because they thought Harry and Meghan was going to fail. They didn't know who they were dealing with. They had started to believe their own taint, meaning that for years and years, all Harry's life, they have underestimated him and tried to sabotage him. And I believe convinced themselves that Harry was this inept human being that could never exist outside of the system. They believed that. And they had no idea how resourceful Megan was, how smart she was, how determined she was, how much steel she had in her back. And so this was a couple that was underestimated. So that's why they refused it because they thought what was going to happen was they was going to fail, spectacular fail for everybody to see on the world stage and they were going to be there to report it and it was going to be great for them. And none of that happened. The only people who are failing are the left behind. Now that's a story that they refuse to write. But it's people failing and spectacularly failing. But they don't want to write that story. They wanted to write the story of Harry and Meghan failing. They wanted to write the story of Harry and Meghan's marriage not working out. But we got one over here across the ponds. Marriage is on the skids. But they can't write that story. They don't want to write that story. So they make up and project on Harry and Meghan. It is so funny. But that is the reason why William and Charles and even the Queen, that's why they gave them that year. They said, after a year, they can come back in a year because they did not even think that they would even last a year without security, no money, no nothing, no resources, no family connections, and just the press lying on him, just just trying to crucify them on a daily basis. They thought, with all of that, how in the world could they actually thrive? How could that happen? Little did they know, they didn't know who they were dealing with. They underestimated Harry and Meghan, and they underestimated their power of the press because they didn't think about social media and this group springing up to support Harry and Meghan online, to push back on their nonsense and their lies. And it's just been beautiful to be a part of it. I must say, I love it. I love it. But let's go on. Let's go on. The goal for some within the monarchy was to finagle a way to get Prince Harry divorced, humbled, broke, and begging for forgiveness. This was their wet dream right here, to get Harry to come back with his tail between his legs. How many times did we see it on panel after panel after panel saying that that's what was going to happen? Harry's going to come back with his tail between his legs. Where do you think they got that from? They got it from the palace because that's what the palace thought. They wanted to break him. Let me read that again. They said the monarchy was to finagle a way to get Prince Harry divorced, humbled, broke, and begging for forgiveness. And none of that happened. And now they are the one that's broke. They are the ones that are begging Harry and Meghan for forgiveness. And they are the ones that are on the verge of getting a divorce. Isn't that funny? You know what they say, when you dig a grave, dig one for yourself too, because you might need it. And in this case, the royal family is laying down in theirs and waiting and hoping nobody covers them up. And I love that for them. But all that they had, well, all that they wished on Harry and Meghan, karma has gotten up, put on her tight black dress and her red bottom shoes, and knocked on their door and kissed them in the mouth and gave them everything that they wished on Harry and Meghan. She gave it to them. And I just love it. I love it. I love it. But let's go on. It said in the past 5 years, the Sussexes have set themselves up brilliantly. They own a beautiful mansion. They have plenty of money in the bank. Harry is a successful author. They both have a lot of investments and interest in the U.S. Their bank account is fat. They got these investments. Got their big old house, and it's alleged that they have a nice house in Portugal too. I just love it for them. Like, I don't know if that's true or not. Like I said, we have no indications that that's true or not. All we know is what's been said out there. But if that's true, Harry and Meghan has outdone them. Ooh, ooh. Because Frogmore was their second home. Now they got a nice, beautiful home that nobody can take away from them. Who want to be in a family that your house can be taken away from you at any time at the whim of the monarch? Who wants that? Harry and Meghan is not coming back to that kind of nonsense. When their name is on a deed to a house that's theirs and nobody can take it away from them. Why in the world would they want to come back to this nonsense? I'm just saying. But let's go on. I'm loving what Kaiser is saying so much. It says, so it's bizarre that courtiers continue to repeatedly insist that they believe, that is the key, they believe that, you know. It's people who believe in Santa Claus, but it don't make it true, does it? I'm just saying. It says, while they repeatedly insist that they believe that Harry is desperate to come back to the UK. And I feel that that is nothing but projection. They are desperate for Harry to come back to the UK and save them, to play Captain Save-A-Ho. That is exactly what they want. Because what is it about Harry's life that he is desperate to be back over there? I'm telling you, what a life Harry has. Harry just got off the big screen at NATO. All the things that Harry is doing now, he would have been incapable of doing as a working member of that family, because it would have been seen to outshine the monarch. We all know the fragile egos of the monarch. They cannot be outshined in any form of fashion. So, how in the world would Harry be able to level up to the point where he is now, still in that family? This is projection. Harry does not want to come back to that family over there. They want Harry. They need Harry. They need the Invictus Games. They need little Scotty soldiers. They need Well Child. They need all of these things to be associated with the family. Harry keep putting the points on the board. They don't put any points on the board. And they want to incorporate Harry's points so it can reflect positively on them. This is all what it's about. They want to ride Harry's coattails like they have all his life, and then try to portray him as a dummy. But yet and still, he is the one that held that family together. He is the one, he's the only one in there that got any accolades, that has ever created anything. Well, Charles created the Prince's Trust. Now it's the King's Trust. But we all know how he did that, you know, cash for honors and taking bags of cash and doing stuff like that. But Harry has done none of that. He has done it the right way, and he has been a success. I'm just saying. It says, um, it's been 5 years. Why are the King's courtiers or William's courtiers still yammering about this? From the Daily Mail's latest Eden Confidential column. So she's going to go into what Richard Eden has said in his column, the one that I wouldn't go over there and give them a click for. We're going to go over. Kaiser went in there and did some of the highlights of it. So we're going to read it. And it goes like this. It says, Netflix released its trailer for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex tacky sounding series about polo last week, with the royals' favorite pastime breathlessly described as a sexy sport. It is that. And talking about dirty, sweaty boys riding a world away from the Duchess of Edinburgh, who had an announcement of her own that she had become the royal patron of Plan International UK, a global children's charity of which the late Prince Philip was formerly patron. Huh? I'm not saying that that's not good. And I have always said that Sophie worked, if you want to call it that, because she does show up and take her pictures. And that's basically all she does. Because in actuality, none of those people do anything that shows any kind of results. They don't have anything to show for their effort that they supposedly put in. But she does show up and take her picture. But they act like Harry and Meghan, everything that they do is commercial. This is work. They have two. They have their philanthropic portion of their life, and then they have their work life. They do it on both tracks, and they actually get more results than the ones who do it so-called full-time roles. I'm just saying. So, like I said, I'm not saying that Sophie doesn't show up and take her picture, which is way more than the rest of them do, but you can't compare that to Harry and Meghan and Archwell, because they actually show up and do good instead of showing up and taking the picture. It says, there is no denying that Harry and Meghan have done admirable work for charity, particularly through Archwell Foundation. Well, thank you. Thank you. It says, but the contrast between Sophie's heartfelt work and the Sussex's latest unregal money-making project highlights how markedly different path their lives have taken. This is my point right here. Harry is not the heir, he's not the monarch, and he has to make a living. Why is none of this smoke saved for the Middletons? James Middleton sells everything. And I would, if he thought he could make money off of his dirty draws, he would sell them too. But and nothing is said about that. But Harry and Meghan making a living, who is separate, completely separate from that family, have left it completely, but somehow them making a living is an affront to you in somehow. It is the most ridiculous thing, and it's so disingenuous. It is pathetic, and I'll just say it that way. However, palace sources have made clear to me, this is coming straight from Charles. But William is still living in cloud cuckoo land, believing that somehow him and Kate have the shine, and that his kingdomship is going to be so much better than Charles because they're young, they're this, they're that. William is stupid. He is. And if you didn't know that before, you should know it now. His behavior, all the moves that he has made, has shown him to be as dumb as a rock. And he is going to make mistake after mistake after mistake as king. Right now, he doesn't have the ability to listen to anyone. And his advisors that he have, all these gay men he has around him, I'm just saying, is not very good advisors. And it's not because they're gay, it's because they're just as stupid as he is. I'm just saying. But let's go on. It says, however, palace sources have made it clear to me, Charles, that Sophie and her husband, Prince Edward, could be point the way for Prince Harry and Meghan to return to royal duties. Begging. They are begging. That is a beg. When they go to Richard Eden to tell him that the way back for Harry and Meghan is to follow Edward and Sophie the way they did, they begging. But let's go on. And let me read that again. It says, however, palace sources have made clear to me that Sophie and her husband, Prince Edward, could point the way for Prince Harry and Meghan to return to royal duties. They're saying it out loud now. It's coming from the palace now. They want Harry and Meghan to come back, to save them, to be Captain Save-A-Hose, because they are circling the drain. And everybody see it. And all of those documentaries have been hitting them hard and exposing them for who they are. And so they want somebody who can put some points on the board for them. And who is the person who knows how to put the points on the board? Harry and Meghan. I'm just saying. It said Cartier is increasingly convinced that Harry wants to resume his old way of life when he felt he was using his privileged position to make a difference for worthwhile causes. That's what he's doing now outside of the firm. So they're saying that he is not using his position now for worthwhile causes like Diana Awards, like Halo Trust, like Travelers, like Cinnabale, like Invictus, and it goes on and on and on and on. What are they talking about? Just because Harry and Meghan actually do things to make money doesn't mean that they're not also doing things that are worthwhile for worthwhile causes. Basically, Harry and Meghan is doing more than that family over there. And this is just ridiculous. It's crazy. It is delusional on another level for them to think that Harry is still not doing things in this world for worthwhile causes. Harry has the accolades. Harry has the achievements of doing things using his privilege for worthwhile causes as long as William's arm. You need to be talking to William. William needs to use his privilege for more worthwhile causes. And Kitty Cat and Camilla and your king. Because Harry and Meghan, they good. They good. Because they got the points on the board. I'm just saying. It says Harry's heart is not in the TV stuff. Anyone can see that, one source told me. That's projection. That's hopeful thinking, wishful thinking, because they desperately, desperately want Harry back. That statement right there shows how desperate they are. They know that they circling the drain. They see those empty barriers. They see people not showing up. And they know Harry will always, always draw the people. And Meghan too. And they saw that. They want that magic back. What is that smell? That's desperation. They are desperate over there. Let's go on. It says notable that Prince Harry does not seem to feature much in the polo series himself, even though he is a keen player. In the trailer, only his name appears in the production credit alongside that of his wife. After King Charles' cancer treatment was announced in February, Harry let it be known via friends that he will be willing to take on temporary temporary royal duties in support of his father. The offer was never taken up, but the California-based prince is understood to be keen to spend more time in his homeland. All right, let's break that down. All right, what it's saying that Harry was not featured much in the polo trailer. Well, this is supposed to be about professional polo players. The last time I looked, Harry is not a professional polo player. So I don't know what their point is, but they want to take it as Harry's heart is not in it because he is not in this particular production. And what it really means is that Harry knows when something is not about him and he's willing to step back and spotlight the people that it is about. But see, those people over there don't know nothing about that. Look at William. William went to Earthlock in South Africa and he made it all about him, not about the winners, not about the mission. It was all about him. When you don't have the ability to know when it is and when it is not about you, you always are going to come off looking real stupid, like he did in South Africa. Wouldn't it be real stupid for Harry to be up there playing and being a part of this particular show, and he's not even a professional polo player? It's supposed to be about professional polo. But these people are ridiculous. And what they read into that he wasn't in it, then that means his heart is just not in any of that. It's not in the TV thing or anything like that, because he didn't center himself. Because they don't understand people who have the ability not to center themselves when it's not about them, because they work on a day-to-day basis with somebody that all they do is center themselves when it's not about them. I'm just saying. But it says Megan's lifestyle business, American Riviera Orchard, is yet to sell a single product almost 9 months after it was launched online amidst great fanfare. So what? Do you know how long it takes to get a lifestyle brand up and running? And my whole thing and my understanding, and y'all give me an amen in the comments, is that it's supposed to be in conjunction with her cooking show that she's going to have on Netflix. So why in the world would she put out any products ahead of the show? The show hadn't come out. I'm just saying. What? But they always want to come up with something. They want to twist it. And for people who are non thinkers, and it's a lot of them, they believe this nonsense. But I'm just saying. The couple's deal with audio giant Spotify was ended unceremoniously, that and their contract with Netflix comes up for renewal next year. That is what they're hanging their hats on. That somehow Harry and Meghan's, and they have been on countdown with this since the beginning, that their contract with Netflix is up for renewal next year, this coming year. And so they feeling some kind of way about that, feeling hopeful, feeling like maybe, just maybe, it won't get renewed, and somehow Harry and Meghan will have to need us again, and we'll have some kind of control over them again. But what they don't seem to know is, just like when Spotify did not work out, or Harry and Meghan chose not to go or continue within that contract, Lemonada was waiting right there in the wings, waiting, just waiting for Meghan. And just like this whole thing with Netflix, if Harry and Meghan decide to make another move, there's Paramount. It is plenty of avenues open to Harry and Meghan. But they are just hoping against hope that all these avenues are somehow closed off and they'll have to come back to Frogmore Cottage. I'm telling you, delusion. Mm, The Nile is not just a river in Egypt. I'm just saying. Although most people long forgotten, Queen Elizabeth's youngest son and his wife was caught up in controversies of their own after they tried to combine business with royal duties. Yet the couple decided to abandon their paid work and concentrate on royal duties in return. The late Queen Elizabeth stuck by them, and they have gone on to become much loved and respected stalwarts of the firm over the past 20 years. True, they will never be paid millions by foreign firms, but they lived a privileged and rewarding life. The reason Sophie and Edward returned to royal duties after trying to have a business was because they was an utter failure, because they were unable to make a success at it. Because if they had been a success, they would still be in the business today. They were not Harry and Meghan. He admitted that when he said foreign companies would not be willing to pay them millions. Because absolutely, why would they? They are boring and they have the personality of a rock. So, yeah, that is the reason why that they returned to royal duties, because they didn't have any other choice, because they were going to starve to death if they hadn't. It says if the Duke and Duchess of Sussex are prepared to give up their private work and return to royal life, they would be welcomed back. One courtier tells me they want them back and they have to give up everything. What in the world would they think? Why would they think Harry and Meghan would give up their independence to come back there to absolutely wait for a handout that is at the whim of the monarch? Look at how Charles has acted towards Andrew and the Royal Lodge. I mean, totally and completely at their whim. And he has the ability to throw you under the bus and you cannot defend yourself. They have the power, these courtiers, to paint you as any kind of character that they want to. And do you not think that when Harry and Meghan come back, they're bringing little Archie and little Lily? And if little Archie and little Lily want to become are extraordinary as their parents are, they're going to do everything they can to absolutely destroy them, because they somehow cannot be as exceptional as Charlotte, George, or Louis. Harry is not going to put his children through that nonsense. They're just not going to do it. But this is them begging, trying to show Harry, listen, we want you to come back. We're over here circling the drain. That is so funny to me. All I can say is good luck with that one, because if Harry and Meghan would come back and put their neck under the feet of these people, they would be putting Archie and Lily's neck up under there too. And what did Meghan say in the Oprah interview? She said that they had to do it for Archie because they're aware of what life would have been like for Archie. I ain't coming back to that nonsense. But let's go on. This is what Kaiser says. Something nice, at least Eden isn't claiming that he's speaking to sources close to the Sussexes and putting words in Harry's mouth, which has been done before. And that is the truth. They love to say Harry's friends or former friends. And my whole thing is if they're former, it's a reason for that. And Harry's real friends are not going to say anything to you. So it's ridiculous. But he did not do that. And that's what Kaiser's saying, which is something nice. That's what she says. It says, no, this is directly coming from Charles's people. A promise that if the Sussexes end all their businesses and charity work in America, they would be welcomed back, but only during Charles's reign. I don't know what to think about that. But all I know is I can just imagine what Harry and Meghan's life would be like under the reign of King William. Oh, oh my God. And little Archie and little Lily. William is a psychopath. He really, really is. That's all I can say about that. when Charles dies, I guess they would have to go back to America, huh? No, that's not actually the royalist fantasy. The fantasy is that Charles and William will both be able to control the Sussexes completely. There it is. That is the royalist fantasy. They want to control Harry and Meghan. They want to, those points that Harry and Meghan put on the board, that shine that brings all of the global eyeballs, the world's eyeballs, they want to be able to control that. It's not in their control anymore, but they want to be able to control that. That is their fantasy. And if Harry and Meghan went back, God forbid, I'm just saying, this is just me talking. I don't believe not for 1 minute that Harry and Meghan will go back. But what I'm saying is this: if Harry and Meghan went back, if they had a stroke and lost their mind and they and they went back, William and Charles, that's what they want to do. They want to control them. They want to use them to their advantage. And they know Harry and Meghan has to shine, and Archie and Lily is going to have that same shine. And they want to be able to control that. And they want to use it, and they want to be able to contribute it to that family. And that's it. And that is, if Harry and Meghan went back, they would still be up under William. That right there is a wet dream of William, to have Harry and Meghan under his feet. Harry and Meghan's not gonna go back, but anyway, it says it is all based on Charles and William smoking their own supply too. This idea that Harry's heart isn't into anything they're doing in America. And that's it. They are smoking their own stuff if they think Harry is not into what he's doing in America. Anybody with two eyes can see Harry is just as happy as he can be. Did we forget about him dancing down that hill? Dancing down that hill in Colombia? That it almost put William and Charles over the deep end when they saw Harry dancing down that hill in Colombia. They knew right then and there Harry had won. They had lost. I even put a picture of a white flag. I said it then. I'm claiming it that Colombia broke them. And this right here, this particular article, the courtiers going to Richard Eden, telling him that they want Harry and Meghan back, is absolutely the white flag that Harry and Meghan has broken them. And I just love that for them. I'm just saying. And I had to dig around in the comments a little bit after I read this, and this is what some of the people in the comments said. So now they're outright just begging them to return, huh? Exactly. They are out and out begging them. Sound like these people are worried about their jobs. If you have a Zoom king that plans to only make 40 appearances a year, you don't need a staff of 60 people and the rota to follow them around. And if these jobs pay as poorly as reported, the courtiers probably miss being able to leak stuff to the press for money. And this particular person is saying is they see what's coming down the road with William. William said he's gonna be a Zoom king. He is not gonna do that many engagements. And what good is the rota? They already are bleeding money. They are worried about their jobs. And they want somebody to report on. They want somebody who can actually go on tour and be welcomed. Because we all know William and Kate can't go nowhere. Charles and Camilla cannot go anywhere. But Harry and Meghan goes to Nigeria and Colombia and knocks it out the park. And they wanted to be in that number. They want to be a part of that. They want to be back into the circle. It is more about the rota than it is about that family, because these people are afraid of their job, just like this particular commenter is saying. It said, and all these jobs pay as poorly as they report. The courtier probably missed being able to leak stuff to the press for money. And that's true too, because we all know they don't pay them people nothing. They don't pay the courtiers, none of them, nothing. It's supposed to be an honor to work for these people. So you can go around and say, well, I was a raw butler, I was a raw floor sweeper, I was a raw this, I was a raw that. It's all a scam. And so these courtiers get paid for leaking these stories to the press. Well, if it ain't nothing to leak, how you gonna get paid? I'm just saying. And plus, they got them in such a chokehold, they can't report the real good stories like what's going on with Kate and William and Camilla being the wicked witch that she is. They can't report none of that. They tried to report Camilla being drunk on the streets of Scotland, but they said she was in high spirits. They couldn't say our queen is on the streets of Scotland, bombed out of her head. They couldn't put that headline. But and because if that they had to put that headline, it would have went around the world. But they cannot do any of that. So they are not making any money. And I just love it for them. I do. And it says, I love how they just skip all the charitable work done in Nigeria and Colombia. And though Archwell is in, I say, though Archwell is in the U.S., as well as Harry's September trip, to make it sound like Sophie has done more for charity this year by being named a patron of an organization. I don't understand how you can regularly write about how horrible, terrible someone is and how and what they are doing isn't important, and then say, but come back to work for us. Exactly. Exactly. It's not congruent, is it? And it's not congruent because it's a lie. If Harry and Meghan wasn't putting the points on the board, they wouldn't want Harry and Meghan back. If Harry and Meghan didn't draw the eyeballs like they draw, if they didn't draw the world's eyeballs, they wouldn't want them back. And if Harry and Meghan wasn't as successful as they are, they have the Midas touch. Everything they touch turns to gold, just like Midas. I'm just saying, and that is the reason why they want them back. No other reason than that. And it says, why and who cares if they think polo is tacky? Ask Andy Cohen how lucrative tacky can be. Andy Cohen is pretty tacky. I'm just saying. This is the next one. It says, laugh out loud, Zoom King D. I am old enough to remember when they were saying Harry would be welcome back without Meghan. Now it's the Sussexes would be welcome back. You know why? Because they have won. They won. It says, how the mighty has fallen. They are no longer in any position to dictate anything. And frankly, they never were. Exactly. Exactly. That's what I said earlier. They underestimated who they were dealing with. They didn't understand who they were dealing with. It says, but it looks like maybe they are starting to realize that they are the dog that caught the car. Where is the lie? Where is the lie? Because they were so anxious to push Harry and Meghan out because they overestimated their abilities and underestimated Harry and Meghan. And when everything shook out, it was Harry and Meghan who is flourishing, and William and Kate and Charles and Camilla is circling the drain. You remember when they took that picture, that Fab Four, the new Fab Four? Ain't so fabulous no more, is it? I'm telling you, and they are at each other's necks, Charles and William are. Because you remember I covered that what, a podcast or two ago, that they're the Buckingham Palace and Kensington Palace, they don't even really talk to each other about anything. William is totally and absolutely out of control. And you want Harry and Meghan to get involved in that mix? But I think maybe Charles want an ally. Maybe that's what it is. Well, good luck with that, Charles. You created this mess. You created. It's of your creation. You know that old saying, you made your bed, now sleep in it. That's all I'm saying. It says, but look like maybe they are. I would say the dog that caught the car. Someone needs to rewatch the video of Harry catching a wave surfing and living his best life, because let's see them live their joyful lives with purpose for the most part out of the limelight, or put up with temper tantrums for failing to give your rageaholic brother and his caring wife Easter gifts while the press gaslight and abuse you at every turn. Tough choice. Exactly, exactly. I'm telling you, and it was just more and more people saying stuff like that. Why in the world would Harry and Meghan want to return to that craziness? And to have your brother in full control of your life, and you are a grown man with a family. Nobody want to do that. I'm just saying. All right, I'm going to put this up. And this particular squatty said this: the royal family is the great pretender, pretending to serve while raking in cash, jewelry, property, land, etc. Pillaging didn't end for colonizers. It's just done in a more subtle but more lucrative, risk-free way. Prince William and King Charles are pillagers. That family. Where is the lie? Where is the lie? And yet instead they want to give you the impression that they somehow do good. What good do they do? And what good are they? That is a question that I want to know. Because everything that I see, they don't do anything but take their parasites. And that, like this particular squad is said, pillagers just pillage everything. And that's all they have done. They have just about sucked the UK dry. I'm just saying. And I'm going to put up this. And it says, somebody tell Richard Eden, A.K. Maureen, no means no. And it's a picture of Harry when he was on 60 Minutes. And what is his name? Anderson Cooper. Anderson Cooper asked him, would he consider going back to being, a full-time role in the royal family? And Harry said no before he got the question out of his mouth. Harry said, no, 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 no. And no means no. But those courtiers are absolutely talking to Richard Eden. This was a this right here was absolutely planned and strategized within Buckingham Palace. And Richard Eden is just a vehicle to put it out into the ether that Harry and Meghan is welcome back. If they give up everything, why would they give up everything? I mean, ask that. I'm gonna put this up. It says, one thing I will always be grateful for is that sweet Archie and Lily are growing up surrounded by love and happiness and are away from that family. Had their parents remained in the UK, they would already be slaves and scapegoats. Where is the lie? Because they had started to write articles about little Archie before he was still an arm baby. And we all know what happened in South Africa. So all I can say is this: Harry and Meghan know, they know that Lily and Archie's future is not across that pond. And these people are only saying this because they are circling the drain. It would be to their best benefit if Harry and Meghan came back. Not to Harry and Meghan, and definitely not to little Archie and Lilibet. It would be to their detriment. This is about them. It's not about Harry. It's for their benefit. How in the world would it be for Harry and Meghan and Archie and Lily's benefit to be back over there in that gilded cage? It's no benefits there for them. Only Charles and Camilla. I bet you if Harry went back over there, Camilla would be holding Lily's hand and walking to church with Archie and have them hand by hand because she wants to be forgiven and she wants to look a certain way. That that documentary destroyed her. We hadn't saw her since then, and that was just scraping the surface. I bet you it's so much more that could be told that this woman has done that was not in that documentary. And the best they could come up with was an article saying that she did not leak that that Megan made Kate cry. That's all she could come up with. Y'all remember that? I covered that in my last podcast. That's all she could come up with to defend herself. I'm just saying. I went on up on a tangent, but he's a clown, and he has made his bed, and he needs to sleep in it. And then here's his son, the king to be, and he is so stupid. He's a clown because he's stupid. And they think that Charles' kingdomship is a disaster. Wait till they get a load of William. Incandescent, raging lunatic that he is. I'm telling you, it's a mess. But all I can say is this: put this up. They need to leave Harry and Meghan out of it. Because at the end of the day, the Sussex Squad, if you mess with Harry and Meghan, we are going to eat your face out. And we won. All right, y'all. Bye.